We don't really talk to people a lot about expanding outside of the U.S. I mean, usually people come to us and they're trying to expand into the U.S. when it's international stuff. It sounds like you've got some unique perspective on that, though.
Yeah, definitely. We have two teams dedicated to expansion. I mean, one is focused on the European and Asian marketplaces, but one area where we are really specialized is Latin America, and specifically here in Mexico. We have about 60 team members down here in Latin America, so we focus a lot here. And the reason that we are talking about expansion into Latin America with so many clients is just because the cost of advertising and the complexity of the advertising is way less than it is in the US. When we look at, on a cost per click basis, especially on the Amazon platform, I mean, that's where we do the majority of our advertising. We're looking at cost per clicks that are, 90% less than what we see in the US for certain categories, CPMs that are significantly lower. So when you're talking about trying to get the most out of your advertising budget, obviously blending in a lower cost per click in some of these other platforms and some of these other marketplaces is a great way to kind of arrive at more of a blended CPC target versus like just trying to plow money into the US and get a better return out of it.
Yeah, a little bit less maybe competition down there might yield some better blended returns. We have actually got some clients too that moved a lot of their fulfillment to Mexico, so it might really be a very easy expansion area. Why do you think most companies aren't doing that, in your opinion, already?
There's a lot of obstacles to getting into Mexico, and this is one of the things that we're helping solve for. Mainly, the first thing is if you're going to sell in Mexico, you need a tax ID, and it's difficult to get a tax ID because you need a business. To get a business, you need a Mexican business partner. So there's a whole range of complexity there. On the alternative side, you could find a distributor here, but working with a distributor in a traditional sense is going to leave you with the same challenges in the U.S. They're not going to either market your product the right way, position it the right way, or even maybe dedicate the budget that you're looking to actually spend on your products here. So I think that's why a lot of companies avoid it. Obviously, there's other factors like we work with a lot of supplement brands, so you're talking about like essentially FDA approvals in Mexico, which is a whole other challenge, labeling requirements for cosmetics, supplements, things like that. So there's a lot of obstacles that make it, I would say, probably prohibitive for a lot of brands. But like you said, I mean, a lot of companies have shifted their distribution down here. I'm assuming you're specifically referring to Tijuana.
Yeah.
And from Tijuana, you can fulfill anywhere in Mexico, 2 to 3 day shipping. So it's pretty convenient.
What's the right client then? If there's FDA approvals for kind of ingestibles, I mean, is there any one company out there that, not that you don't recommend those companies doing it, but is there like an ideal candidate that you think would be much easier to jump into that market?
Yeah, I mean, anything that is non-consumable. I mean, it's pretty much non-topical, non-consumable. I mean, those companies have a great opportunity because there's a lot of demand for them. There's not a lot of variety down here, and there's already people that are potentially arbitraging prices between the U.S. and Mexico, bringing products from the U.S. down. So it's a great opportunity for companies that have those type of products. Obviously, there's a little process there that we help them navigate, but we work with a lot of other products like dog toys, kids' toys, things like that. Cookware, those types of products are really easy to actually get in here. The approvals are pretty simple. And yeah, it's just a matter of being able to have the company or the platform to sell it through.
And are there scale limitations? Like, is it harder to get to a multi-million-dollar run rate?
It's definitely the market size of Mexico on Amazon, at least. Again, this is like the main platform we deal with. Is it's probably 1/10 of what we're going to see in the U.S. It's significantly smaller.
Okay.
But when you look at the overall e-commerce numbers in Mexico, I mean, obviously the country as an e-commerce, as customers purchasing through e-commerce is continuing to increase. But Amazon's about 50% of total e-commerce sales. I mean, Mercado Libre is another huge platform that you have potential on. There's other platforms like Coppel, Liverpool, that people shop on as well, Walmart, obviously. Right. So I would focus more on all of the potential platforms you can access people on, and then that will get you more of a scale that would compare a little bit better to the US.
Got it. Sounds good. For those watching, this is Mike Begg from AMZ Advisors, founder, right?
I am CEO and founder.
Yeah, tied to the mast of the ship. So all things Amazon, specifically for this topic, though, international, if you're curious about that, feel free to reach out to him or anything Amazon. He's a great resource and runs an agency, so he gets paid to help you with it. So feel free to get in contact. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to hit stop record, and we'll see you soon, bud.
All right, thank you, Bobby.
Later.